Ashley, you want to kind of kick it off and kind of see from last week and everyone's thoughts and BFOs and aha moments and all that kind of junk from our last week's session?
Yeah. So does anyone have any aha moments just from the past week that they want to share with anyone? You know, maybe a big win you had, you closed on a deal, put in an offer and it was accepted, put a system in place.
Ken, stop eating. We can watch you. I'm just kidding, man.
I'll share my win. How about that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, Chris, I already know what it is.
You do? Oh, yeah.
Your dog. Tell everyone your dog.
My dog. So I closed on my first deal as an official investor this weekend. So I bought a house in Dallas. It was going to go on the MLS for $225. My broker asked me if I'd like to come make a bid on it, and a couple other people went to bid on it too. And I got it for $180. And I just going to use my line of credit to buy it through my bank. So I sent it over to them to go through the whole approval. They will fund up to 80% with 1 point down on it. It needs no work to rent. So I'll probably just paint it and clean it and rent it out. And they came back and said it valued at $320. And so they asked me if I wanted an extra 20 grand to add on top of my 180 that I bought it for, so I could have for repairs and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, bring it on. It's only going to cost me an extra $50. So why not? Let's do it. So it's a pretty sweet deal.
Yeah, that's awesome, Chris. Congratulations.
You must have had a pretty good coach. You must have had a pretty good negotiation coach help you on that one, huh?
It's the stall quiet tactic, right?
That's right. I tell you, man, it works every time. The one who talks first loses. Awesome. Congratulations, man. Congratulations.
That's an awesome deal.
Anyone else have any good wins? No, they don't want to. See, you should have went last, Chris. Now that you went first, no one else wants to top you. They're like, oh, I can't.
That one's hard to top.
That's a hard top. Yeah, that's a hard top. Yeah.
On my intention journal. And last time that we had a call and somebody else was talking about theirs, so I went ahead and ordered mine. I'm going to be putting that in place this week.
Nice. Awesome. Good. Yeah, that intention journal is good. I like it. I've had one, and I ended up making my own because I was trying to tweak that one. So I was like, I just made one that curtailed directly to me. But yeah, that's a really good journal. I'm curious from the last session we had with everybody last week. Did anybody have any good takeaways or anything that they did based on what we reviewed last week? Or did you guys just kind of like say, I'm done with that guy until next week again? Nothing? Wow. Okay.
Shy group.
Yeah, they're all. Everyone's kind of afraid if they say something, I might actually start asking them some more questions. So I don't think they want to answer any questions. All right. Well, today we have a very, very special guest, a very good friend of mine, a gentleman named Bobby Sharma. You may have heard from him. He is a very well-known investor in the San Francisco Bay Area. Not only has he done hundreds and hundreds of deals, syndications, turnkey all over the country. I'll let him kind of tell his story. But he also has a software that he's going to talk about that I saw firsthand, and I thought, wow, this is pretty cool. And I think if we are very nice to him, he may be able to give us a special deal, free, I'm hoping, for anybody that wants it to use it. We'll see how that goes over. Free, Bobby, free. We'll see how that goes over with everybody. But Bobby, first of all, thank you so much. Bobby and I were actually in Brazil. He was down there. I was on a layover. We hung out, had breakfast together, talked some business, and I've spoken at his events in the Bay Area before. And so he has a huge following. Is it just in the Bay Area, Bobby, or is it all over?
Well, pre-pandemic, just in the Bay Area, but now, like everybody else, we're virtual, so online. So, but yeah, hopefully when things get back to normal, we'll restart in the Bay Area and maybe LA as well.
Cool. Well, Bobby, I'll give you the floor. Why don't you just, tell everyone kind of your story, what you do, what your superpower is, and we'll let people start picking your brains because this guy's got a ton of freaking knowledge. So this is the guy if you want to learn about turnkey or syndications or the software he has. And Bobby, is there a way that you can share your screen later to kind of show it?
If you make me, I think, let me see. Yes, I am the co-host. So thank you.
Awesome.
All right. So guys, I'll first of all, I've known Steve for a couple of years. He's been kind enough to fly in from Houston to be a presenter at my meetups, and we met in East Bay, San Francisco, and I think we had a packed room when Steve was presenting. So I'm really grateful for to call myself Steve's friend. So I'm really grateful for the friendship. But we were just, it was purely coincidental that I was in Brazil near Sao Paulo for a vacation, and then on Facebook I posted something, and Steve mentioned that he was going to be in Sao Paulo. So we ended up just meeting, and like Steve said, having a nice breakfast. But we ended up like talking for hours and hours about real estate and where Steve's going with his coaching plan and his training, and then what I'm developing for real estate investors. So my superhuman power really is about networking. So I believe in networking. So 10 years ago, I started a real estate meetup group in the east part of the Bay Area, they call it East Bay. Fortunately, that's grown to one of the biggest meetups in the Bay Area. So we meet 3-4 times a month, different topics, but everything to do with real estate and finance. And then I was fortunate enough to have retired from my W-2 a couple of years ago. I had built, some rental portfolio, private money, lending portfolio. And then being in Silicon Valley, we're always surrounded by technology ideas, and whatever you do, you got to incorporate technology into it. So about a year ago, I connected with a fellow real estate investor who was an engineer and had worked for a lot of Silicon Valley startups. And so we developed a platform to allow real estate investors to track the performance of their real estate assets. So for example, Chris, you just bought a house. You'll like you said, you'll clean it up, paint it, you'll put it out on rent. One of the things you could do is go to our site. We're going to make it free for Steve's students and friends. And you can put in the address and a few little, and I'll actually show it to you. But you can, every month, you can start to track the performance. What is your ROI on your ROI is obviously very high. But let's say there was another deal, but you could track did your payments come in? Did your rent come in? Did your mortgage go out? What is the equity that you're building in your portfolio? So I'll quickly.
Hey, Bobby, also,
yeah.
before you show them that, I'm just curious, can you give them some background on kind of just what you've done in real estate? Because I think, I know you're glancing over it, but I think it's important that you've got some battle scars and you do a lot of business. So I think it'll help people understand the software, understanding your expertise of actually massive amounts of real estate that you actually own.
Thank you. So almost to today, it was actually March of 2010. I was looking at prices, and the homes that were selling for pre-financial crisis, this house that I was looking at was selling for $640. And the real estate agent called me up and she said, hey, we got this REO. Are you interested? You want to go take a look? Long story short, I went and bought that property for $285. Pre-crash, it was sold at the peak. At the most it was valued was at $640. I picked it up for $285. I was worried. I thought I was overpaying back then, but little did I know. But anyway, I got a tenant. Luckily in California, in spite of all the problems, you put an ad on Craigslist and it rents in like a day, and usually to a very good renter. Knock on wood, I've had the same renter for 10 years. I keep my rent significantly below market. What I tell them is, don't call me for any nuisance issues, and I'll keep your rent below market. And take care of the minor stuff that you need to take care of. If there's a major item, call me, I'll take care of it. But don't call me for a backed up toilet or anything like that, and you will see that I'll keep the rent below market. So luckily, same family, I've seen their kids grow from being toddlers to now high school kids and all that. So being very fortunate there. The wake up call for me was, I was doing really well in technology. I was at Cisco, WebEx, and then Cisco. And then one day I got an offer at a very high profile startup. And long story short, the guy ran out of money. In about a year of me being employed there, he blew through $15 million of investors' money. And so through no fault of my own, I found myself out of work. And that's when I had some downtime, and I was still applying for jobs and all that. But that's when it was a very bad feeling. And I said, you know what, I got to find a different way, or a backup. I needed a backup. I needed something to supplement my income. So I started looking at real estate actively. So I did some fix and flips in Oakland. I went and bought at the courthouse. But the big break for me came when there was a speaker at my meetup. He was specializing in Section 8 properties in Kansas City, St. Louis, Memphis. And they had a portfolio of 110 doors at that time. And he spoke at my meetup about Section 8 properties. And I was curious about Section 8 myself. To kind of condense the story, I had coffee with him. Or actually, he got my card. I got his card. He reached out to me. We met for coffee. And I became their first private money lender to their company. They had got to 110 doors by themselves. They were buying in Kansas City for below $10,000, fixing them up, and then renting them out for between $650 to $950 back then. If you remember, Steve, back in 2012, 13, 14, you could buy a single family home for definitely below $10,000 in the inner cities of Kansas City, St. Louis, Memphis. So these were not, in the beautiful suburban areas, but they were catering to mostly Section 8 properties, but their cash flow was amazing. The big break came when I helped them. I got their CRM going, I got their website going. And I brought in, through my meetup, through my personal network, I brought in a bunch of investors. And we grew that 110 door portfolio to 650 doors in about 3 years. So in year two, and by the way, I just want to point out, I didn't ask them for any money. I didn't ask them for a salary. The CRM that I built, or I helped kind of create and install for them, I didn't ask for anything. I just felt like I was an investor in their company. I wanted them to do well. They were good guys. But at the end of the 2017, January 1st, 2017, they said, listen, you've done such an amazing job for us. We're going to give you equity in our company, even though you haven't asked for it. We see what you've done, so we're gonna make you a partner. So the three co-founders got together and they made me the partner. The moral of the story is that sometimes you just have to give. You just give, and if it comes back, it was meant to come back or whatever. But I always believe that first you have to volunteer. And by the way, I did the same thing with, I had invested in a mobile home park syndication, small syndicator out of San Francisco. I was having lunch with him after I had invested with him. And he said he was having problems finding an asset manager. So I said, okay, what is an asset manager? What does it entail? So he kind of described to me what it entailed. And I had been a project manager in my technology career. So I'm like, do you want to, I can volunteer until you find a full-time asset manager. And they're like, really? You want to, help out? And, I'm like, yeah, what, just tell me what I have to do. So again, small syndicator, they own 4 mobile home, they own about 10 mobile home parks. I manage 4 of them. So I got to deal with all the residents of mobile home parks in Ohio, Southern Illinois, Wyoming, and Kentucky. So I know all about people driving these ATVs at 2 o'clock in the morning, or pit bulls, and drug deals going down in mobile home parks. I saw it all. Called the police. I had a. The most interesting one was where people still deposit cash and checks in the property manager's mailbox. I mean it's 2016 and they're still depositing checks, and so somebody decided to chain the mailbox tied to their pickup truck and steal the little bit of cash that was in there and the checks. So I got to install a steel mailbox. We had to special order this steel mailbox that no pickup truck could ever pull that steel mailbox out of the ground. We put concrete in. It was a $1,500 installation, but luckily nobody stole the checks anymore. But anyway, so that happened, and then luckily, again, I tell you, you have these 82 people on here, Steve, and these 82 people are your friends that you're going to do deals with. This is your network. And for me, it was just very fortunate that I got to meet a lot of people through my Meetup, and I became a private money lender to the people that were in the meetups that I was lending money to. So anyway, I kind of rushed through it, but that's
good. And yeah. I think it's just, again, I think it shows that, for people watching and people that are new, to me, I think the reason the story is so valuable is that, number one, you did this without expecting anything back in return, number one. Number two, you helped a lot of people. And because of that, you were rewarded for that. And that wasn't your goal, right? You didn't go into this saying, what's in it for Bobby? Yeah. You went into this thinking, okay, let me help these guys. Let me get them to where they want to go. And of course, that helped you get to where you want to go. And I mean, I know you're playing down and a little humble with the size of your groups, and all. You and I have done a lot of conversations about transactions and other stuff. But I just, for everyone here, that Bobby is like the real deal. I mean, he does all of this. He's in the heat of battle, so he's not someone who's done it in the past, doesn't do it anymore. The software that he built, and when he was showing it to me, I was like, man, this is really cool, because it just compiles a lot of stuff. And it's not, I've worked with softwares that are very big. When you're managing 500, 700, 1,000 properties, those are the softwares that we had to have. And unfortunately, when you get those kind of softwares, you're dealing with multi-million-dollar companies that they don't care what you think and what your problems are. When they're listed on the NASDAQ, you're going to take what they get in that package, and that's pretty much it. Yeah. But what's great about Bobby, what I loved about it was it speaks directly to the smaller investor. And he's in that phase where it's almost where, if it's like, hey, Bobby, could you have it do this, or could you have it do that? Which, I think is why he's part of it, probably, I'm sure, helping give it away free. Is because it's good to get this information from everybody. I think the feedback, is that correct, Bobby, or is it set
Absolutely.
the way you've made it?
Absolutely. So we are early stage right now. We're just releasing. We've got about 150 users on the system right now. But Steve, to your point, look, there are softwares out there that cater to the commercial investors. You pay thousands of dollars and you use them, and they're pretty nice. They're very nice. But there's hardly anybody taking care of the small investor, the person that owns from 0 to $100, right? There's really nothing out there for them. Yeah. So what I wanted to build was a software for my Meetup users, for my friends that own, actually I built it for myself too, because my stuff is all over the map, right? I got my Gmail, I got my hard drive, I got thumb drives, I got stuff in Excel, some is in PDF. It's all over the place, right? So I needed a centralized location for everything and to be able to track it. Plus my pet peeve, which is tax time. My accountant would say, okay, send me all this information and it's got to be in this format. And on the last week of the deadline, I'd be like trying to find information, like what did I pay for? Luckily, just like hopefully many of you and maybe a lot of you in future will have a lot of doors, and they'll be in different states, they'll be in different counties, and you got to pay taxes. Sometimes you have to form an LLC, and you got to pay the fees for the LLC. So like, who's tracking all that? So I took all the challenges that I was having with tracking all my private money lending, my syndications, my own personal rentals, the rentals that I have in partnerships, and I put it all in one place. And but it's meant for folks like the folks that are on this call.
Great. And so, just to echo what Bobby said is, what if for those of you that are just getting involved in real estate, or that you have a couple doors, what you're going to realize as you grow and as you scale, this will become, if you do not have a system for it, it will get out of control. You won't know if you're making money, losing money. You won't know if a property is doing what it needs to be doing. And you're actually in a chaos mode. And when you're in chaos mode, you are not making money and you're very stressed. And so if you can get control of this on the front end and start that foundation, and that's why I really wanted Bobby to come on to show this, because they didn't have this kind of stuff. It was all spreadsheets and everything when I was doing this, like Bobby. So to have this, and again, Bobby, thank you so much for giving it free to everybody. More important, giving me a kickback. That was so nice of you. I appreciate it.
You get a cup of coffee in Sao Paulo.
Yeah, Sao Paulo coffee. I think I bought breakfast, actually, for the record.
Yeah, no, you paid me.
While he's going through the software, Ashley, is there a way that if you guys have questions about it, I think it's important that you ask it while he's doing it. And then Ashley, would you be able to monitor it and then ask him the questions?
Yeah, if you guys want to put them in the chat, I'll kind of interrupt him. I'm good at that and ask them.
All right.
Please make it interactive. Make it, look, if you got, suggestions or what you like or what you don't like, I'm here for you. I'm a servant for you guys, because if I can help you maybe reduce, save time on just tracking, maybe help you reduce your taxes. Well, it's a bigger vision, but I think it's there. And there's one big component where Steve and I are totally in alignment on this piece. There's a saying, right? The more you learn, the more you earn, right? So what Steve is working on is so important, and I could never be the kind of coach and a leader that Steve is. He's got this other charisma that I don't have, and he's managed this huge property management company. He's got systems in place, and so I totally respect that, and I look up to Steve for that. So we are working very closely with Steve to bring, and Ashley as well, to bring the training component into this platform. So there's 3 T's that I believe in. The first T is called tracking. So if you don't know, when Steve gets on into his 777, what's the first thing he sees? He sees a dashboard, and there was a new term I learned: situational awareness. Right, and I was paying attention. So it's about quickly logging into the system, and you see a dashboard, and it tells you, like when you get in your car, what do you see? You see the fuel level. You see is there a problem with the engine or no? What's your speed when you're driving? Are you going backwards or forwards? Any other check engine lights that may come on. So the idea of this dashboard is to give you like a 10,000 foot overview of where you are right now, where have you been, and where do you want to go. So the first T, the T is tracking your assets, tracking the performance of your assets. If somebody sold you an apartment building and they said, you'll make 12% on it, but in reality, you're only making 9% on it. Well, what do you need to do to correct that? Will you buy from that person again? So you need to measure your performance of your assets. The second T is training. That's where Steve comes in. So we believe in training. So for 10 years, I've been running my Meetup, and I've been providing training. So we provide we had, whether it's on fix and flips, whether it's on buying remote, what kind of property management company should you work with, what kind of deals should you be looking for, private money lending, hard money lending, anything to do with real estate, we provide training. So that's the second T. The third T is transactions. We call that deal flow or transactions. So when you have some money saved up, where do you want to invest that next? You can look at your portfolio and say, what, when I buy properties in a certain geographical area, they tend to do better than when I buy them in a different geographical area. So I want to avoid that the geographical area where I'm not doing well. I'm going to continue buying where it's doing well. So we're going to have deal flow. We're going to have opportunities for you to invest, whether it's syndications, whether it's single family, whether it's co-living, whether it's apartments, whatever that is. You guys will be able to put some of your deals on a platform as well. So those are the three T's: tracking, training, transactions.
Hey, Bobby, our first question real quick is, as a new user, how long does it take someone to get set up? For example, 1 property setup versus 10 property setup.
Yeah, I'm actually going to be able to demo it to you. And it takes about anywhere between 1 minute to 10 minutes per property. Okay. So not very long, but it all depends on how much data do you already have in the system. But I'm going to show you from scratch, like how to add the first property. So we'll do that. Yeah. All right. Thank you, Ashley, and please keep your questions coming. So this is a site. It's bettercapital.us, and then this is what the dashboard would look like. So I'm going to just log in here, and so this is my dashboard. This is sample data, and so I've got my private money, my rentals, my syndications. This is my monthly goal. You can come in here. You can edit your monthly goal. Some of you are probably a lot more ambitious than I am, so you can see your monthly goals here, and how are you doing compared to your monthly goals. But in my case, I focus primarily on private money lending. So here's one loan that I have. I can come in here. I can see the actual performance of that loan. How did it do this year? How did it do last year? Well, I didn't have it last year, but this year I had it. And then I can look at all the financials. What was the start date? What's the end date? What was the market value of the property? There's actually a calculator in here. So for example, if I think this loan was 56,000. 2 points. If I click on that, it'll automatically update this, and then I can add some asset details. Some of the values, we have an API built into Zillow, so we're pulling some of the data from Zillow. Some of the data you don't need to add, but a lot of it you can add or override it. Here's all the transactions. Here, if there's any documents, well, I'll show you another one. But if there was a document attached to this property that I needed to attach, I can come in here and I can say, let me see if I can find a PDF. Let's see.
Bobby, while you're looking for that, another question is, does the software connect with any other software such as Buildium or property management software?
Very good. Very good. Yes, it does. So we have, okay, the other reason why we built this. So imagine this, and you know, Steve comes from the property management space, and so let's say I'm an investor. I got a property in Ohio, and I got a property in Texas, and I got a property in Oklahoma. One property manager's on Buildium, one property manager's on Yardi, the other property manager's on Appfolio. And you got to log into 3 different systems to bring that information back. Well, what we are doing is we are building connectors. And so I'll take a short, so we have built connectors to Propertyware, Hamlane, Rent Manager, Cozy, and there's more that if you want to add. If you want to, let's say, with Mind, if we need to build integration into Mind, we can do that very easy. All we need to do is to get a sample report, and we'll build the integration. So these are the different property management systems that we're tied into. But yes, I will show you. You just come in here, you upload your Appfolio file, and we'll read it. So that's how it would work. But going back to the private money. Let me see. I'll show you real quick. Okay, so I had added a document, and now I can give a category to this document. So I can say insurance 2020. Okay, so I'm going to save this tag. Let me just go ahead and add one more document so I can show you how to compare it. I'm going to say 2020 rehab kitchen. Okay. So if I do a search on 2020, both the files will show up. If I do a search on insurance, only this file will show up. But the idea is that here's your checklist that you would need just about every year. Here's all the stuff that you should have related to this property, and if you don't, then you need to maybe look for it. But your checklist is right here. All your contacts for this property are here as well. So I can add a contact. You know, I can say Ashley, you know, at com, and you know, she's my let's say she's my investor. So here it is. So she's in here. She's in the system. I can send her an email, and I can send her a message. And she doesn't have to be logged into the system to get a message. She will still get it in her email address, and she can respond from her email address. But that's what we built for communications. But all your contacts for that property are there. So for private money lending, this is how we would track it. Any questions on this so far?
There's no more new questions.
Okay. So I can track my rentals. I can track my syndication. So I'll just show you one where I have. So here's my documents. All my documents are here. Here it is on the map, and then eventually we'll create a map which has a pin for all of your properties in all the different areas. So there's that. We have what's called a bank integration built. This is a really cool feature. So right now, this is my Wells Fargo bank, and all I have to do is click on Fetch. So I'm going to click on Fetch, and it's going to bring in actual transactions related to from my Wells Fargo bank, related to the cumulative transactions. So what I'm going to do is I got so many properties that I need to know which one is this related to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on Service. I'm going to say Add to an Asset. and I'm going to add it to, let me see, I want to add it to Simpson. Okay, so this transaction belongs to Simpson. I'm going to say click on save. I'm going to go back to my dashboard. I'm going to search for Simpson, and I'm going to go to my transactions, and there it is. Service vendor 1026. I just pulled this from my bank account. The point I'm trying to make is we want to avoid you doing double entry. So if you hook us up with your bank account, and we use a third-party secure software system that allows us to integrate with to your bank accounts. We don't store any of your bank information. It's all done authenticated by a company called Plaid, P-L-A-I-D. They were bought by Visa for $6 billion. So if you use Venmo and a lot of the new apps, a lot of the property management, or you know, you've seen those where you can split up your rents between roommates and so on and so forth. You can pay some of your bills online. We use the same technology as those guys. They provide us with APIs, and we use their APIs to talk to the bank. So, for example, in this case, this is my actual Wells Fargo bank account. So, so that's how. Now, we are building a you can call it machine learning or artificial intelligence, to the point where you won't even have to remember to do individual transactions. The system will learn from the previous transactions and apply it to the right property, but you will always have the ability to override. So, so that's what we're working on right now. There's one more thing I want to show you. Let me see if I can come in here. I can go to transactions. In real estate, there's something called a Schedule E. So our year-to-end report, you'll at the end. So around December 31st, you can come in here and click that report, and it'll give you all the transactions that your CPA, your accountant, your tax preparers are going to need for that property. So you simply click on the year-to-date report, and it'll generate something that is similar to a Schedule E that you can give to your CPA. So that's another feature that we're working on. It's actually working. So I can actually hit on export. It's gonna generate an Excel file, and I can show you kind of what that Excel file looks like here.
Hey, Bobby,
So
there's two questions for you.
Yeah.
If you own a percentage of a property, can you track it as a percentage so that your dashboard numbers reflect yours only and not the property as a whole?
Yeah, you can, and you can, and I'll actually, I do own 2 properties in partnerships. We're 50-50 partners, and I do track it in here. But if you reach out to me offline, I'll show you how to do it. But it's doable.
Okay. And then the next question is, I have separate bank accounts per property. Can I add multiple accounts?
Yep. You can add as many accounts as you want. What it does is when you go to add an account, it does double authentication. So you enter your username, password. Again, that's not stored by us. And then you'll get a text message to double authenticate, and that'll come to your cell phone. That's how you'll be connected. And you only need to do that once. We only have read-only abilities. We cannot write. We cannot do anything to your bank account. And if you need information on Plaid, let me know. That's who we use. PLAID, Plaid.com. They were so popular that Visa bought them out for $6 billion. So, but this is basically the platform. Now, what are we working on in the future? Over here, very soon. Let me see. Where did it go? eraser. Okay, I'm gonna draw here. Here we go. Very soon over here, there's going to be a tab called training, and what will happen is, based on your interest. Look, there's a lot of good training available out there. You know, there's tons. But what we want to do is we want to curate and work with a handful of partners that that are just providing top of the, you know, the top training that our users would need. And Steve's training is going to be one of those. So we will have a link, and it'll go to Steve's website from our platform. But we will have some curated content for training. So it could be asset protection, it could be syndication, it could be raising capital, it could be mindset, whatever that is. It's going to be in there. You'll be able to search it, and then so you're in one platform, but you have, as we grow our user base, Steve, we'll have more students that are going to be interested in learning about investing in different types of assets, different type of strategies. So whether it's mindset, well, I talked to a guy out of Kansas City yesterday who does only co-living, right? So people that are interested in co-living can go in and take a little course, kind of like what's that, udemy.com or whatever. But the idea is that we want to provide training. And then the third T is going to be the transactions, but that's coming.
So Bobby, who would this software, like, who would this be good for? If somebody's, if they're flipping properties, not so much, just buy and hold, like, who does this speak to, would you say?
It should be for any real estate investor, any, look, whether you're a fix and flipper, you still got expenses. You got your whole period. You got your acquisition. You got your rehab period. You got finance charges. You got the closing costs upon purchase. You got the closing costs upon the end of, when you flip the property. You got two HUD ones. So somewhere you need to track all that. So what was your profit at the end of the day? What day did you start the investment? What day did you exit out of the fix and flip? You need to track that. So it's for fix and flip. It's for buy and hold. It's for people that are, investing in syndications. It's for private money lenders. It's for, note investors. A lot of people are into note investing. So we had a call with a guy who does a lot of note investing. He's got a fund for that. So he gave us some ideas on what he wanted to see in the notes component. But if you got, different things that you'd like to, that you want us to add to it, we can add. My programmer and my partner is very efficient. But Steve, it's for any real estate investor. Now, we're not a property management application, right? We're not a Buildium, Appfolio, Mind. That's not us.
You're just taking all the data from everywhere and bringing it to like one dashboard, right? So it's like you're not being a PM software. You're just collecting all the information. Because now let me ask you this: is there, and I didn't see this, or maybe I missed it, tax information? Can you get that as well?
Yeah. So there's two things, right? So one is your property taxes. You need to pay your property taxes. Oh, I forgot to show you. I will show you right away. There's a reminder module. So over here, I can have, listen, I need to pay mortgage for this asset. I need to do this, property management payments, but I can also create a reminder. Let's say I got to pay taxes on Simpson, and it's due on December 10th. Pay on Fresno County website. one time. Okay, so if I go to December, where is it? November, December 10th. Oh, here we go. Pay taxes on Simpson. So here it is. Now I can move this reminder. I can say it's completed. I can remove it completely, but it's there. So this is a reminder module for all of your, like Steve, I travel a lot. I wish I was a pilot, but I'm not. I'm the passenger in the back, while he's having the nice. I'm in the passenger. I'm in economy, by the way. So, but I do fly United because San Francisco United is the biggest, one of the bigger hubs. So I do fly United. I wish I was 1K, but I'm working on getting there. But the idea is that so what would happen is I come back and there'd be all these little late fees that I forgot to pay a franchise tax for, or I forgot to pay my taxes on time. And even though I'm talking about 2 years ago and more, so I hated paying those penalties and so on and so forth. So now I have a module in here for you to track when you need to pay what, right? So no more missing deadlines and so on. The other question, Steve, that you had was what happens when I at the end of the year, when I need to submit the paperwork for my accountant, what does that look like? So you come in here, you say export an asset, and we'll probably change the name, year-to-date report. This year-to-date report is going to look something like this. So yeah, what did you purchase it for? What was your income? What was your property taxes? What was your all the expenses related to the property? What was your P&L for the property? Right? It's going to have all that information in here that you can then simply send to your accountant. Right? So the idea is that we would make it 90% ready, and it's in Excel, right? So if you need to go in and edit something, no problem. You want to go and look, you paid a landscaper in cash. You paid him $500 in cash or $300 in cash. No problem. Go in there, add $500, or make whatever adjustments you need. But it's in Excel and it's done a bulk of the heavy lifting for you already. So that's the idea. So no more tracking every month, everything, every transaction. No need for that.
Bobby, you showed me a thing of like, if you said this was my goal and you could show if you're on track for that. Can you show them that? Because I thought that was really a great visual to see if the properties are actually hitting the numbers or not.
Very nice, very nice, very nice. So yeah, we have. And this is going to get more elaborate. So look, so my cash flow, my cash flow on this right now, it's 8,500, but my goal is 25,000. So what we are going to do is it's a component that we're working on. When we realize that you are short on your goal, and you need to, what are some of the things that you need to do to hit your monthly passive income goal, or your passive fix and flip goal? Doesn't matter, whatever that goal is. Eventually, what we're going to have is a bunch of suggestions. It could be you need to go buy more rentals, right? It could be you need to look, if you're a nurse, you're a doctor, dentist, you're a fireman, you're busy, you're an engineer with a family. Sometimes you just go to mind.com and you go buy a rental property, right? And you need passive income. So you get your first rental property. Mind has already done a great job of analyzing it for you. You go, listen, and I got my property management in place. I got my inspections in place. I got my financing in place. You just go and buy another property. So what I call that is stair-stepping your way into financial retirement, right? Into financial independence. But as soon as you save up, say $30,000 to $50,000, maybe you're not the fix and flip type. Just go to mind.com, find the property that you need, purchase it, let Mind manage it. Now you got passive income, right? So what have Steve and I have been telling people for 10 years to go buy real estate. What is one of the hottest assets in the whole world economy? It's real estate, and of course the stock market, right? So real estate, if you bought any property off of Mind or MLS or whatever, like from 2010 till 2 years ago, till 6 months ago, you probably made money. Okay, you probably made money. Real estate is for me, it's a buy and hold kind of a strategy. And that's why I love Mind. I love what they're doing. And you just say, listen, I got it. You manage it. Send me my monthly check, and it's going to come into my bank account. But Steve, that's the idea, is the monthly goal. This is what you want to target.
Yeah, I think it's great. And again, it just gives you a visual, which is important. And so for those of you that, like I said, this isn't the end all be all, like Bobby said. This is a tool as part of your way to leverage your time. Because I think, to me, when I saw this, the first thing that came to my mind is you're buying back hours of your time by not having to go collect all this information and all of this. Because normally when you talk to investors that don't have some sort of system, it's this mad dash rush to try to gather everything at the end of the year when you need it, or where you're trying to figure out, should I keep it? And I know, and I think you showed it in there where you can actually upload all the closing documents and everything tied to the property. So it's just, everything is in one place. And I think with technology now, it's very hard to find a place to keep everything, and so that's what I think is very cool. I think it's great. And I mean, I appreciate the fact that you're letting people use it for free, which is, obviously amazingly nice of you. I do appreciate that.
Yeah, you guys just reach out to Steve or me or Ashley and we want your feedback. We'd love to. It's not perfect, but if you give us your ideas, we'll make it better. We are always taking your input. And again, like I said, this is something that we'll tie into Steve's programs very closely. So
cool.
Mind.co is the way, for you to go retire early or passive income, Mind.co.
Okay. Very, very cool. Well, do you guys have any other questions for Bobby, or, how they get a hold of you and all that?
Yeah, very easy to get hold of me. So it's Bobby, BOBBY, at bettercapital.us. And I'm on social media. I'm on Steve's group. So just ping me, reach out to me. I hope I can help you. I can help answer any questions. But thank you, Steve. Thank you, Ashley, for letting me speak and sharing my. I've been working on this for a year and a half. I don't have a job or anything, but this is it. This is what I've been doing.
Yeah, no, I think it's great. And like I said, I mean, I think that your character of always giving back has shown over time, which is, it's kind of like what I do, what Ashley does, and everyone on here. I mean, this is kind of the thing of us helping everybody the best way we can. So I definitely appreciate that.
Hey, Bobby, can you repeat your email one more time, please?
Sure. I'll chat it in here. It's Bobby, BOBBY, at bettercapital.us. I'll chat it in here.
Thank you. Are there training videos too?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So very good question. It won't take me but a couple of seconds to show you. But when you're logged in, you can click on how to right here, and we have videos for you. So you can kind of see how that would work. But we have some training videos. If you get lost, just click on this and it's all there. So, but we will be posting some training videos on YouTube as well. And yeah, so yeah, it's there.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, Bobby, man, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And obviously everyone here on the group, I thought this was vital for, I thought this was timely. It's the end of the year. You're going to start gathering documents and information. And I can tell you from personal experience, when you have a lot of deals going, it can be chaotic and very, very stressful. So again, this didn't exist when I was doing it. So I just thought it'd be nice. And, Bobby was nice enough to give it free for everyone, which is pretty cool. So, I mean, if you don't do it, I mean, I just hope you have something better to utilize, because
Yes,
if you,
yes.
Bobby and I know that, when you get on the back side of that power curve and you're trying to figure out where all your stuff is, when you're trying to refinance your properties and all that, it can be stressful. So this is just something to save you minutes, which saves you, hours and days and a lot of stress. I know that for sure.
And a couple people asked where to sign up, so you just go directly
Yep.
to the website.
Yep.
Better
Bettercapital.us. Click on sign up, and we'll keep it free for you guys. We'll grandfather you in. So no worries there.
Very cool. Very cool. All
Well,
right.
thank you so much, Bobby.
Yeah, thank you, Ashley. Nice to meet
Actually,
you.
the first time I got to talk to Bobby was when I was in Houston at Steve's house, and our videographer Jason was behind us blowing up balloons for my party. So that's the first time I got to talk to Bobby.
I know. No, this is such a pleasure. So hey, you guys are in good hands. Love what Steve is doing. Love what Ashley's doing. And Chris, congratulations on a home run. Bring more stories like that. I think I'm motivated now. Like, that's super nice. Very nice to hear those success stories.
Yeah, and definitely follow Bobby. He's got a great group. He's just doing some good stuff. So you want to look him up. He's in the Mastermind that we have, the Facebook group. He's in that as well. So you can find him there. So I think next week, for those of you here, I think we're going to have Ashley Wilson on. And so she just wrote a book on bigger pockets. What's it called, Ash? The only
it's
woman
actually
in the room?
with the Real Estate Investor group, not Bigger Pockets.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so she's become a part of that group now, the Real Estate
Faircloth, right?
Liz?
Yeah.
Yep. And the book is The Only Woman in the Room, I think.
Yeah. And she just closed on, I think it was a 156 unit apartment complex here in Houston, Texas. So her and Jay Scott were down here. So we went and had lunch and stuff and hung out. So I'm going to, if schedules work out, I'm going to try to get her on next week so you can pick her brain on buying apartments and syndications and stuff, all that. So she should be on. And then eventually I'm going to get my good friend Scott Ray, who went from 1,200 units to owning 35 houses. So he went the other way, and all the dark stories that go along with it, he will explain why he did it. So it's a very interesting story to hear from Scotty and what transpired in his life. So for those of you that think bigger is better, I would say wait till you hear this story, and you may rethink your plans before you go and start buying all these big apartment complexes. I'll leave it at that. But anyways, guys, again, thank you so much for sharing. I know everyone's been sharing this online and social media. Please keep doing that. I do this for free. The only reason I keep doing it is if we keep getting people to come back. If people stop coming back, then I will just stop having it, because I'm doing this for you. I'm here for you. I'm trying to help you guys be better. And it only works if you guys do your part. So I'm doing my part. I'm bringing people like Bobby and other people, Ashley. We're all doing what we can do to help you guys. I'm not asking for any money. The only thing I'm asking for is just to share it out and try to bring other people back. I think that's a fair trade for my time, Bobby's time, Ashley's time, other people in here. So that's my one request, is just try to share with other people, try to get more people here, because I think it's important that we all give back. I'm at a point in my life and my career that I can give back, and I can give free time as long as it's respected and reciprocated. So that's my only thing that I ask of you guys. And if you guys do that, I'll keep this going. If you don't, then I will shut it down. Anyways, that's all I have. Ashley, you got anything?
Nope, that was it. Sorry, I was muted.
Oh, okay. All right, guys. Well, we kept you about 5 minutes over. I do apologize, but please share this out. Take a snapshot, snap it on Snapchat and all that, whatever it is you do, Instagram, whatever, Grindr, Tinder. What do you want, Ashley? All those?
Farmersonly.com.
Farmers Only, farmerboyonly.com or whatever it is. Yeah, sorry. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. We will see you next week with Ashley Wilson. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.